wanna know what you're thinking.
Chris, no, we're not going to start the show off with that.
I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Pro or Negative, the podcast. We are back for another week, and this is going to kick off our Halloween season for the show. So it is I, Aaron, and I'm joined by formerly known as This Fat Bish, formerly known as CM Skunk, formerly known as Livin' La Pancho Loca. Now he is known as the Hat Box Ghost. Chris.
That's right, man. That's right. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Good. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm glad. How's your mom?
I don't know. I don't see her.
Okay. How about there in Radio Land? How's everybody's mom doing?
I don't hear anything.
Great. Oh, well, I heard it.
Well, they're probably satisfied, so they're not listening to this. So
that's true.
Yeah. To kick off the Halloween season, we have a guest with us tonight. Basically, to tell you a little about this guest, he's the co-founder, or actually not the co-founder, but the founder of the Facebook group NerdFest. He is basically the creator of NerdCon, which is pretty awesome if you haven't checked it out yet. Coming all the way from cyberspace, we have James, the Nerd King Chisholm.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate all the fanfare. And let me tell you, when your opening credit is the founder of a Facebook group, it really shows how little you've accomplished in life. So thank you for that opening.
No, man. Social media executive director.
There you go. There you go. I am living the dream. This is how I pictured it in high school. So
the CEO of NerdFest.
That's it. Well, you know what's really awesome is that Aaron is on my board of directors. So that just tells you where the state of our universe is right now.
Jesus, it's gone downhill.
It's low.
Thank you so much for having me on tonight and for allowing me to come and be a part of this amazing show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Front Row Negative. Yeah.
Apparently, we got invaded by the crazy taxi announcer. So,
hey, tell us about NerdCon.
Thank you so much for asking. We're going to talk NerdCon for the next 30 minutes. I don't know, but no, NerdCon
is next. Gin Blossoms. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we could talk Gin Blossoms too. So I hear from you. No, NerdCon is a pop culture convention because we don't just say comic, we say pop culture because we embrace all forms of pop culture. It's held out in Mont Bellevue, and it's really been important to me that we bring great vendors who are very engaging, and we keep it free to the public. So guys and girls who have children that are not incredibly well endowed with financial success can bring their kids out, because I remember what it was like to be kind of poor and want to go to a Comic-Con and barely being able to afford to get in the door.
Yes.
And so I didn't want that. I wanted other people to have access to that. And so we were lucky enough to partner with the Chambers County Library System. And we, myself and you guys know Jerry Schaefer.
Yeah.
Jerry Jacob Schaefer. And he and I went out and we met with Kelly from the Chambers County Library System in 2018. And they said, why, yes, of course, we would love to do NerdCon. And well, that wasn't the exact words. At first it was like, what the hell? And how did you guys get in here? But no, they were really cool, and we were able to do the first one in the library, and we had a really good turnout, and then we got the city involved, and so now we're at Eagle Point Rec Center. And funny thing is people don't realize this, but here in NerdCon we predict the future, because after NerdCon 2, we were looking for a great theme. We do themes every year, and NerdCon 2 was the invasion. Right, we're doing the invasion. So for NerdCon 3, our thing was, let's do something really cool. Let's make our theme like Outbreak. We'll call it Outbreak, and it'll be like you get this nerdy disease and everybody turns into zombies. And wouldn't you know, right after we picked that theme, the coronavirus hit and shut the entire planet down.
Wow.
I like to say that we're personally responsible for that.
You guys are trendsetters.
Hey,
right.
Coincidences happen.
Was it divine intervention?
I'll say this: Are you a gamer, or like you game a lot or anything?
So I game like a little, like a little
bit.
Like a little. Like my wife and kids are the gamers. So
okay,
I'm more of the
You don't game.
you know, like my wife's like, yeah, well, you know what, like, you know, well, that's not exactly true. We do play sex games, but that's something completely different. No, as far as video games and stuff, you know, upon occasion, I'll play something from the 80s.
I'll say
like
the
old man games.
The reason why I'm saying this is because back in the second half of November 2019, Xbox has this thing called Games with Gold, where you get 3 free games.
Yes, Games with Gold
a month. Yeah. Well, the game for late November was called The Division, and if you never played The Division, it's a game set in New York City during the winter time when a virus outbreak happens, shutting the city down. Quarantines are happening. People are infected. You can't go shopping. You can't do anything. And it is crazy because that's what played out like a few months later, you know, literally. So I was playing that game and I'm like, man, this game is really too meta right now. This is crazy because you're going through like doing investigations with hive spots for the virus. You're setting up safe stations, all that other stuff. It was crazy. But the coincidence of it is just, it happened.
As a big horror fan, you know, I got to ask then, you know, as you're going through, you know, the lockdown and COVID-19, of course, everybody was, you know, we're all worried, and you guys know I work in healthcare, so there's that whole thing. I get to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, you know, as you're going through COVID-19, you're at home and you're watching a lot more movies. Is 28 Days Later on your watch list?
It was I did that as a joke. The second week after the 6-week quarantine, week number 2, I watched 28 Days Later, followed by Outbreak, followed by all these virus themed movies, mainly zombie movies. And I did it as a joke, and now looking back on it, I'm like, man, I don't regret it, but I'm like, I had a bad sense of humor back then.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like it's like, you know, working from home was cool like the first month.
Yeah.
You know, and then well, at that point I was between jobs. I've been my wife was at home all the time. That was fun too.
No, I still went into work. I still went into the office. My bosses are the type of people who are like, you know, it could be flooding and you're floating down like, you know, the Beltway 8, and they're saying, "Are you still coming in?" So those are my bosses.
Well, you know, it's kind of that way. Well, I mean, it's that way with healthcare. Like you're no matter what happens, you know, the hospital doesn't close. They're like, we're in the midst of a tropical storm on Christmas Eve, but you better be here tomorrow morning.
Here's the thing. I work for a furniture manufacturing company.
Oh, yeah, because people got their furniture the next day.
They got to get their Charlog furniture.
Absolutely. You know, it's kind of like butt grooves are getting into couches now. We need you, Aaron Stat.
It's Aaron, we need you up here. We need you to draw these instructions and draw these concepts. For what? Everybody shut down. Not for long. 3 months later. It's
essential, sir.
You know what? Like, we just recently purchased a reclining love seat, and that thing was like, they were like, oh, we don't have anything in stock right now. So we had to like wait like 3 weeks for this thing to come in. They were like excited because it came in early. And we're like, damn.
Wait, was this Gallery Furniture?
No, we were at Rooms to Go. But if you work for Gallery Furniture, I'm sure it's a fine furniture company.
Oh, okay, about to say,
or if Gallery Furniture is out there and considering promoting and sponsoring NerdCon, then we'll definitely say we purchased it from you. I'm not above lying.
Gallery Furniture is great if you're a customer and the Astros win. So
yes.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
You know what? I will kiss the butt of anybody who wants to sponsor NerdCon. So your furniture is awesome. But no, we got this from Rooms to Go. But,
okay.
Yeah.
So about NerdCon. Like, what was your idea? Just, you know, wanting to do that? Because I remember when you were like, "Hey, I wanted to do this thing. I want to do this event." And so, like, what was your startup goal to get NerdCon going?
Well, you know, we just, you know, I think I'd really started to get into, you know, I was really enjoying going to Comic-Cons, and I enjoyed, you know, I was cosplaying a lot at the time, and I just wanted to do something fun because NerdFest was really popping, and you know, we were out with I was going out and meeting a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
And I just wanted something that was fun that I could hang out with my friends at, and it wasn't a hugely serious thing. It was just like, I'm going to have some fun. And I had no idea what it would take to run an event. And fortunately, Jerry came along because, like, I sat down with the ladies from the library, and they're like, when can we do this? And I'm like, give me about 3 weeks, man. We should be good to go. And Jerry comes in and he hears that and he's like, look, no. We need 5 months. Let's do it in December or November. We can promote it, get all the vendors. Basically, what Jerry did was he, in a nice way, said, "Don't listen to this dumbass. He has no idea what he's doing here." And so, we were successful. We were successful in spite of me. But that's kind of when you deal with Jerry and I. And the reason we work well together is because I bring a lot of energy, and I'm very I'm creative. I look for ways to get attention because I'm an giant attention whore. Whereas Jerry is very much, I always say, he's the guy that he does all of the planning. He's the logistics guy. Yeah. He takes my dumbass ideas and he makes them work. So
if you guys were bank robbers, he would be the one on the computer doing logistical stuff. Here's the guy up in everybody's face, like, moving out, fucking blow your brains out.
You know what? I think I like to think I'm a little more charming than that. I would probably manage to
Hold me, madam. I'm here to expose your brains to the floor.
No, I really appreciate your efforts here. You should share this wealth with the people, and I'll make sure to spread it. And so I think people would just be like, you know what? You're so nice. Here's the money.
But I can agree. I can agree with Jerry with that, because when I was with Comic Palooza, we would start meeting and start having stuff and all that in the middle of January, and go from there all the way to May, all the way to May or June, depending on when it was. But it's a lot. It's a lot of, basically, you're doing a lot more talking and a lot more planning what ifs than actually getting things in. And I just remember those meetings. Half the time, I'm just like, I've already got my stuff already done. I'm already organized. I'm already ready. My section's already ready to go. My section's already done. Yeah. I'm just waiting on everybody else. And
I think that's the cool thing about again, our partnership is that he just has such a great knowledge on how to put things together. But I have all of these ideas and these things that I want to do, and I shoot big all the time. Like I'm dreaming big, and so that's where we kind of go. And he keeps it very well grounded, and I keep it very well in the clouds. So, but we work our butts off. We both work our butts off. So.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this about any event: you can plan big until you get that bill. Then you got to start cutting it down. Then you got to start cutting it down.
We have to be real with as far as finances go. We've managed to increase our finances, but I mean, there has to be some realism. Yeah. I mean, as much as I would love to have Harrison Ford come out, or that's I'm gonna be extremely happy that I've gotten Linda Young from Dragon Ball Z. I mean, that's the reality of where things. And Linda's a great guest, and we're so excited to have her join us this year. By the way, one of our special guests is Linda Young from Dragon Ball Z. But I mean, I have to be realistic on what my budget is and what I can afford. And while it's nice to be able to get, those big Hollywood types, I mean, most of them are costing more than, our entire budget.
So, that is true.
Yeah. So, I'm happy. And I love the anime actors. I mean, we've had Tom McKee out in the past, and he's absolutely amazing, and he's very friendly and cool with people, and Whitney Rogers. And so, I look for guests that we're getting a lot of bang for our buck, great anime guests who have a lot of personality. This year we're going to bring Steve, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Ariondo, who was one of the villains on Power Rangers. And so we're, just anybody who wants to be a part of what we're doing and has something to bring to the table, we're excited to have them. We love that energy. And so it's really, it's kind of cool,
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, I'd love to have Harrison Ford, but no, I can't afford Harrison Ford.
It's funny. I remember at the Comic Palooza meetings, they'd always in the past they'd always ask us, who do we want to see come in? Like, what's our dream goal to come in? And I know that they probably dreaded every time they got to me, because I always think of somebody random or somebody off the wall. Like, my first two answers were always Ed O'Neill, because I've always wanted to meet Al Bundy.
That would be a great guest.
And now it's more Charlie Day. I would love to meet Charlie Day. So
that would be awesome.
Yes. Well, I love Always Sunny. That's one of my favorite shows. So I cannot not like Charlie Day. But it is fun. But the first segment we have for this show is we call What are you snickering at?
Our first segment.
Our only segment.
Yes.
Well, wait. Only segment of the show.
For this episode, we do have another segment.
It's October.
It's
What?
October.
This is not the shit I signed up for. When I discussed with you, I wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to talk about nothing in particular for absurd amounts of time.
And you got that for a while.
Hey,
I'm gonna just say I love how he's playing this I just didn't know that we were gonna do that. Yeah, that's called being ill prepared.
Yes, it is.
I'm always that's the thing, Cap. I'm always ill prepared.
Like he logged in he's like, hey Aaron, what are we talking about today? Oh,
October.
What the hell happens in October?
Saturday?
Hey,
My
boy,
God,
what are you
that's
going to do
I
tonight?
can't believe it's October already.
Oh my
It's
god!
here.
What in the hell
October
is
is
going on here?
October is officially here. It happened.
Let's do this then.
Let's do this.
Bring it on.
So, pretty much our first segment that we usually have is called "What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you playing? Or what are you listening to?" And basically, whatever's you're enjoying right now, like what is it? To kind of either give it a plug, give it your thoughts, give it a review, or kind of just put it out there. And James, since you're our guest, you get to go first.
Wow, my God, I'm watching so much stuff right now. I'm the final season of The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I've really been enjoying. I'm about an episode. Oh, great! My dogs are. You've excited my dogs. I spoke The Walking Dead, and they're freaking out over here.
Just asking what's going
Spoilers,
on.
dog. Spoilers. Jesus.
They're like, no, don't say anything about The Walking Dead, you jackwagon. And wow.
What the hell? The dogs. They either love that show or fucking hate that show.
Yeah, and in truth, my daughter just moved out, and apparently she's coming home or something. I don't know. I don't know. So the dogs are freaking out. So, I love The Walking Dead, and I like what they're doing here, and we're kind of getting the whole. We're getting to see a lot of the interactions between Negan and Maggie, and I think in a lot of ways, seeing where Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character is going and developing as he kind of seeks that redemption, which I love, and we get to kind of see how the people in Alexandria are dealing with hard times hitting them, and the years pressing on, and so I love that. Also watching Star Trek Lower Decks because who doesn't love a cartoon that really? I always say that Star Trek Lower Decks is really kind of if Star Trek was made by a bunch of smartasses. That's what Lower Decks would be. So that one's fun. I like Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol's dope. Sorry, go ahead.
It is dope. Everything except for I'm trying to catch up so I can be ready, so I can start watching season 2. Yeah. So like you've got season 1, like Negative Man, like he just totally pissed me off because I didn't care that he was that he was gay or that he was all this. It was like he was always like pissing and moaning.
Wait, he was gay?
Yeah, because he was like, oh, I didn't have my great love in life, and I had to give it all up. And I'm like, what a douchebag! You gave up your kids. Like you don't shed a single tear for your children, but you're worried about this love life. Like your kids grew up completely without you. But they start broaching that in season 2, which is really cool. And then and it's Brendan Fraser in that. Oh my God, is so freaking hysterical. I mean, he plays that so well, and Timothy Dalton, to see James Bond there, and he's kind of a douche, and just everybody in that show is so good, and it's so clever in the way it's done. So I really enjoy that one, and then at night when I go to bed, and I'll put on my tablet and I'll watch Attack on Titan. Because I got it. Really one of the things is when you visit a comic convention, you really want to be able to speak to what you're selling and to the crowd that comes in. So I really try hard to make sure that I'm have a good knowledge base, and I enjoy anime quite a bit. I mean, I love I love My Hero Academia. I love Death Note.
Death Note's good.
Death Note is awesome.
It was great.
I'm going to tell you the only thing I hated about Death Note, and you can tell me your opinion on this. Okay,
I'm also a big fan of Death Note.
Yes. My dogs are really pissed that we're talking
Wait,
about
is dead or death? Is that their keyword? Like,
yes, they're like
each
anytime,
mention death.
first the minute I get excited about anything, they're gonna like chime in. They're gonna be like, "Holy crap, I've got to talk about this." No, the only thing is when his dad goes and he becomes he gets the sight and he finds out that I felt very ripped off when his dad saw that he was innocent, that I believe
Yeah.
it's Kira wasn't that he wasn't Kira.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would have been his dad got to die thinking his son was a good person.
Yes.
Right. And I was like, you know what? That felt like a big ripoff. I felt like his dad should have died and seen the truth.
Yeah. His dad should have died as seeing the truth.
Yeah. His dad should have died knowing his son was a douchebag Kira. And that really for me, that was the only thing I hated about Death Note was that he didn't that he got to be the good guy when his dad died. His dad got to see him. I mean, dude's clever. He played everybody, and he used everybody up. He outsmarted everybody. And so when his end came, that was great. But I that was just the only moment where I was like, oh, come on, you're killing me. But I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of stuff. I would like to say I read a lot of stuff, but not as often as I should.
Now, did you see the live action movie of Death Note?
I did. You know what? And I gotta say, I know a lot of people bag on it. But if you're gonna do Death Note, I mean,
should have been one movie.
Should
have been one movie, or should have been split up.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like it is a lot of material, and I don't. It's not that I don't think you can do it in one movie, but you lose so much of the story, and the one thing that's like we were talking about, his dad being a police officer, and he's a police officer in the movie as well.
Yeah.
But you don't get that whole thing of them working together. You don't. So there's a lot of things that are lost. William Dafoe, hands down, man, he was freaking awesome.
Yeah, he was great.
I mean, he's I mean, it doesn't matter who he's playing. I mean, he's always the Green Goblin. He's always creepy. But he's so good in that. But the movie itself, I mean, full disclosure, I saw the movie before I actually sat down and watched the anime.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so for me, is the anime better? 100%. 100%. It spans, but it has that time to be. I didn't find the movie to be terrible, again, because I thought William Dafoe's performance was great, and I thought it was clever.
Yeah.
But it had a great base of material to work with. So
it did.
No, it's not going to be as good as the series, which is probably not even as good as the manga, which I haven't read. Full disclosure, I don't read much. I mean, it was enjoyable. Was it perfect? No.
It was not. It was not.
No. But it takes a lot to make a movie as good as a TV show anyway, because again, you just have so little time to work on it.
Definitely does. Anything else? Or?
I feel like I overtalked that.
No. This is great.
Everything I've covered, I'm like reversing, going, did I overtalk that?
No. This is great because normally when we have a guest on, we ask them what they're watching, and they'll go, I watched one thing, or I started just watching this one show. I was like, okay, great. Or then when a show comes out, we're like, hey, are you caught up on this show? No, I haven't watched it. Like, well, we can't talk about that then because we don't want to spoil it. So this has happened. But yeah, if you watch some stuff because that people should be watching, go ahead and talk about it because this is great.
Well, there's, and that's the thing with me. There's so much that I want to watch, and there's so much that and again, since I run a convention and I sell a lot of toys and stuff, and I want to be really knowledgeable about the things that I talk about. And then there's just the stuff you just want to see, man. It's just freaking cool, and so it's like there's never enough time in the day to watch everything that I want to watch. And not only that, but there's stuff I want to rewatch, and that's like a challenge in itself. Probably the best shows I've seen in the past year or so. Um, Resident Alien, so freaking good and funny.
Yes.
And Alan Tudyk is like that guy is funny no matter what he does. I mean, you could put that guy in a serious role and he would kill it as a funny dude.
He would.
Or he could play a chicken.
Yeah, he could play a chicken. Alan Tudyk is just so freaking hysterical. And,
That's right.
and that show's great because they have so many cool supporting characters as well.
Yeah.
If I'm going to talk about best, and let me say this I watched Superman and Lois, absolutely loved that.
Okay.
DC does television so much better than they do movies.
They do. They
because they have more patience with it. They have more patience with it. So I loved it. And it really takes a different side as, you can see Superman saving the world, right? But what's he going to be like as a dad? What's the home life going to be like? What's it like being married to Superman? What's it like being one of his kids? You got one kid who's
his two kids are both boys, right?
Yeah, in the show, both of his kids are boys.
Okay, so he doesn't know what it's like to go to Walgreens and pick up pads and shit like that.
Well, what the cool thing is he could go
how
be in
bad
and out
really
in like no time. So he's like, yeah, and like that probably wouldn't bother Superman because it's like, he'd be standing at the counter with the pads in his hand and he'd be all like, "What are you looking at me? I can jump buildings in a single bound. Yes, I had to buy pads tonight."
Look, man, if I'm Superman,
say something about it.
If I'm Superman, I gotta go buy some cotton shit with wings.
Yeah,
I'm flying in at supersonic speed. I'm grabbing that shit and I'm flying past the register with the exact change, with like a post-it note that says, "Super sorry, had to run."
Super sorry.
Love
here's the deal, man. If you were Superman and you were doing that, the Flash is going to be right beside you, going, "Hey, what are you doing, man?"
It's directed by Zack Snyder. It's like,
those for you?
No, if it was Zack Snyder, it'd be in slow motion. No super speed.
That's what I'm saying. Like when Flash catches up to him, it's like, is that ocean breeze? I don't know. Whatever. Strawberry fields forever.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm like in my late 40s, and so that stuff doesn't like phase me really anymore because I'm like, whatever. I mean, first off, if you're buying pads, they know it's not for you, so they got to assume you're getting some somewhere.
Pretty much,
or at least you have in the past, so that's probably a real positive thing. So, I really like people looking at me and going, "That guy got some once."
Once.
Hey, quick question, guys. Quick question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. If your wife, just say, perhaps, let's ask you if your wife is taking out her goddamn contact lenses and asks you to throw them away from her, she's trying to give them to you barehanded and wants you to throw them away for her in the trash can right next to you. Yay or nay?
5-second rule. Yes.
You would?
Yeah.
You are a better husband than me.
I gotta say, you know what? I'm gonna say, there's nothing my wife would ask me to do at this point in my life that I'm gonna be like, ew, gross. I've seen her birth our son. You know what I'm saying? Like the magic is gone, dude.
Okay, then I'm the vagine. That's fine. Give me your fucking eye shield and I'll.
Oh
God!
I'm just gonna say it.
Drop one?
I love her so much that I would do anything for her as she's listening to me and criticizing me. But no, you know what? She's seen me at my worst. I got surgery like 2 years ago, and she watched me puke for hours. It's all good, she's pointing out how she had to clean off my pee in the toilet and whatever because I'm right out of surgery. My aim is not great, I'm like having to sit on this thing like a woman. It was not my finest moment. Okay.
Hey, time is money. Give them a break.
That's right. When you can barely stand and you're like, it's fine, whatever. So. If she asked me to throw away her contact lenses, that's probably not the grossest thing she's ever asked me.
That's not the grossest thing I've seen.
Yeah.
So.
Like, what have you guys been married? Like 5 minutes? That's icky to you?
That's it.
I'm just saying.
Enough.
How long have we been married?
Oh crap! I got him in trouble.
January.
Not long enough.
Thanks,
apparently.
James. January will be 2 years. Man.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yes,
you were like 1% in.
For
January 19th.
Yeah, make that guess.
Face with a can of mace.
Make that guess.
Yes.
Aaron's been married 47 years.
I have. It's
Yeah.
been a long time.
You know
He's
what?
only 40.
I really want to meet your wife one day because I just want to ask her why. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, take her to a Tex-Mex establishment with green sauce and chips, and you'll hear all about it.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Pretty much.
That would
He
be
said he wants
amazing.
to find out why.
Yeah, why did you marry Aaron?
Why? And not only that, like, okay, you could be in that moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm so in love and he's dreamy or whatever with his, 1990s haircut. But at some point, the magic ends and like you're stuck with this. Like,
Hey,
That's
hey.
when she farts on your leg in bed, and then you're like, oh man, it got real.
oh yeah, look, dude, you're
got
you're
real.
probably still, if you're like only 2 years married, you're probably still in that phase where she doesn't want you to know that she passes gas.
Oh no, she
Like
does
when
it.
you've been married like 15 years, like it just like rips out at like
It does.
James, we're not
and then she blames it on
How
you.
long were we dating?
James, we're not a conventional couple, sir. We
Okay, all right.
Okay, so full disclosure, I, like many other hardworking Americans, caught Corona at one point, and it messed up my sense of smell, my sense of taste for a bit.
And you still ate at Ponchos too with the
Yes,
lactose.
it's
Well,
right.
hell, that's a
that-
benefit now.
right? Thank you. But my point being is, look, I've Googled it. It's a thing. After you have Corona, your farts smell worse.
I don't know how mine could smell much worse.
I'm
They're
just
getting that
saying.
old man stink attached to them.
I don't know, man. Like, and I like to torture her with them. So as a husband, you don't announce it, right? It's
Are we sitting in the car and go, did you fart?
I would think your gas announces itself. Mine certainly does.
well, some do, some don't. Depends on how muffled I am at the time.
It just sounds like a trumpet,
Again,
or it doesn't.
You live in Pasadena, so I don't know if it's Pasadena or Chris.
Sometimes it's Chrisadina. You know what I mean?
There you go. I'm so glad that I was like totally bringing NerdCon into this whole thing.
Oh
tonight, by the
man,
way.
yeah, we went from NerdCon to
repping
farts.
NerdCon like on the fart show.
Oh wait, so people that go NerdCon
Come
don't
out
fart?
to our convention.
We're all
It's really
we're
family
all
fart friendly.
no.
Oh yeah, and then we talked about tampons and stuff too, so that's great.
Yeah, that's
It's a
cool.
Comic-Con. Look, I mean, come on.
No, I got you. I totally got
Yeah,
you.
we were talking about Comic-Con, not the Red Tornado. I mean, it's
Ooh, what? Wait, is that the name of is that the name of a pad? The Red Tornado?
it could be now.
Hey, why not? Why not? I don't foresee any women actually calling it that, but whatever.
It's muffling farts. So
Oh God.
Whatever.
so to kind of go back to this segment
Oh,
that we got off track. It's
I don't know what you're talking about.
so
You say you've been reading good newspapers?
so
We'll get there.
So Chris, did
We'll
you
get
throw the
there.
contacts away?
I threw away the one that I think I found. I don't know if the other one's on the floor. It's
Wait,
gross.
how
It'll
did
be
you
stuck
lose
to your
the
toe in the
contact?
morning.
It up and it turns into plastic.
It does. It's like a shrinky dink for your eyes.
It is.
Shrinky dinks.
It's like a shrinky dink for your eyes. So
I don't know anything about that, sir. Listen,
yes, you do. You're 40. So
whatever. I was in the pool.
it was yeah. You're in the pool. So
So,
Chris,
yes.
do you
Go on.
what have you watched or what have you read or any of that
You know what, man?
since last week?
Yeah, I definitely watched the first 3 episodes of Star Wars Visions.
Okay.
Oh my God, how is that? I'm that's on my list, man. That is on my list.
This what I'm about to say is all coming from a man who does not delve deeply into or know a lot about anime and manga.
Okay.
I'm very much a novice in that way. But when the preview for this happened, the announcement, I was very much intrigued because one, I have a passing interest in Star Wars. It's not my Bible or anything, but I definitely enjoy it for what it is. I love sci-fi fantasy. And the idea of these different studios and different writers and artists and everything taking the Star Wars mythos and putting their their Salt Bay, dropping a little bit of salt in it and doing it their way.
Yeah.
Very intriguing to me. And so I think like with most things, you want to come out of the gate pretty strong. This first episode was amazing. And it reminded me because I did watch. I'm assuming you both watched Afro Samurai.
Yes. Definitely
Okay.
did.
The animation style was very much in the vein of like Afro Samurai, so it had this very gritty and grimy look to it,
Yes.
but still had the flow and the movement, every little thing. Like if there was a gust of wind, all the bushes, all the reeds or whatever would move, and it's like it felt very organic and very real. So I'm assuming I'm the only one who's watched it yet.
I have not seen it yet, and
yet.
I'm really wanting to see it. Again, like I've got like 5 shows I'm trying to watch at once, and so but that is definitely high on my list.
No,
I will tell you though, you mentioned anime and you not being a huge anime guy yet, and I'm going to tell you a great anime to watch for an entry level, particularly for gentlemen in our age range. You got to check out Castlevania.
Yes,
on Netflix.
Yes.
I've heard that. It's the
So
same
dark.
animation studio that
It's
did
very
He-Man.
bloody. It's very sexy, and
Yes.
the acting. It's very well done, and I think it's something
blood and
for a
sex,
casual fan.
Yes.
For a casual fan who's not really sure if they're going to like anime, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, that same studio also did the new He-Man Revelations.
Oh my
cartoon.
God! Do you want to talk about that event? No,
Okay. Wait, did you like Revelations or did you not like it?
So it's one of those things where I had mixed feelings about it. I had a lot of mixed feelings.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I'm going to say,
fair enough.
I like that we're getting more He-Man stories, right?
Yeah.
What I take, and I like a lot of what they did in the universe. When you see the universe without He-Man and without Skeletor. By the way, spoilers if you guys hadn't watched it. You really kind of get to see. Oh my God! Magical sounds like that's Kevin Smith. He's like censoring us right now.
That was Robo House, man.
Yeah, no, I like a lot of what they've done with it. I love that that you've got like Trapjaw and Tri-Beam, and they've formed this cult of technology, which I think is really great. I love Evelyn's character development, but Tila's character development really bothered me because. And I get people change as they grow, right?
Yeah.
But to see her jaded is not, because when you look at Tila throughout the card, and again, we're going for the same tone.
Yeah.
But the stories are much more grown up, and to see Tila become jaded when she was so noble, when our picture of her was so noble, to me, I don't think it's a bad show. I just think, we kill Adam twice, okay. But to see, and I don't mind that she's on this journey, right?
Yeah.
I wanted her to be a hero, and maybe she's got to grow and develop into that. But that's where it was a letdown for me.
Okay.
There were a lot of good things. I love Beastman.
Yes.
For me, the best He-Man series made was the one that they made in the early 2000s for Cartoon Network.
Yes.
So
I will agree with that one. I've told Chris several times that the ones in the 2003, 2004, that series was so well done. And the cliffhanger was just amazing for that.
I vaguely remember it. I need to go back and rewatch.
Well, it really shows the development of Adam as he becomes the hero, as he grows. It takes him as a young man and facing a lot of the challenges that young men face, and you top that on, you're a world-class superhero. It's just such a fascinating take on it. And you get to see how all the races of beings live and. So yeah, I absolutely think that's the best version of He-Man that they've done.
I thought that was good. The 2003 Force series, what I really liked about that one was that when they introduced the side character, they stayed in the show. It wasn't just a one and done episode. They were throughout the entire series.
It was more than just selling a toy.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah. Well,
what?
Yeah. Well, the original He-Man series, and to its brilliance, it was really kind of one of the toys, the first to do it.
Of course.
The whole idea, the whole concept was you had a comic, you had a show, and these were to drive toy sales, and they did a wonderful job of that. But you don't get to flush out some of these side characters and some of the different races of beings on these worlds as much because you're just trying to sell that action figure or that new toy.
Yeah.
Whereas with the new show or with the early 2000s show, they really took a little more time to kind of develop that and have a whole story and not just 20-minute toy commercials.
Yeah, that's true.
And to Kevin Smith's credit, the arc of this show so far, it's more story driven, but to me, I really want to see where it goes because to me right now it's just there's some holes in it. I've completely talked, Aaron. What do you think? What did you guys think?
I thought the show was great. My only nitpick, and I've said this before, my only nitpick was Tila's stupid soccer mom mullet that she had when she grew up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I hated was her hair. I thought everything was great. I love the Easter eggs that they had, and I love that they actually used the vehicles from the toys.
Yeah.
They used the vehicles. So like the Rotar, you had a Stalker as being used. You had Nightmare, and even Panther made a cameo, and toward the end. So
Mhm.
all that was great. So I'm happy with how it went. I'm just hoping that, and then also I can't, I always like this because one of the characters that I never really liked, but I thought was really cool, was voiced by somebody who I thought was perfect, and that was Tony Todd as Scareglow. Tony Todd was amazing. As soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, holy crap, it's Candyman. He's in here. So
So I'm gonna share some Nerdfest, and I'm gonna come back to your statement about Tila's look, by the way. But some actual Nerdfest connections.
Mhm.
So you guys know Brian Anderson, one of our great
Yes.
nerd men's, part of our
Yep.
board of directors, part of our board of nerd directors. um, he actually got a call to audition for the role of Skeletor, and he was
Mhm.
reading for it. And then, of course, he reads later that Mark Hamill has decided to do that. So nice to know for that guy. You got, I mean, it's kind of like, how can you be mad at Luke Skywalker for kicking your ass, or
Pretty much.
he's like the greatest Joker of all. I mean, he's really fantastic. So if you're gonna lose a role to somebody, I guess Mark Hamill's the one you got to
Losing somebody with a pedigree. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Like I was, I would be telling everybody that it came down to just the two of us, even if it's not true. I'm telling everybody that.
It was between me and Mark Hamill. We had to fight each other in the back alley in Hollywood.
You know what? I was all like, give it to Hamill. He needs a bone. He hadn't done anything in a while. But to your point about Tila, I don't disagree with you on
Mhm.
that. I mean, I understand why they had to modernize her look to some degree,
Yeah.
because they want that to connect with some of the younger fans. But
Yes.
you're also talking about a fantasy universe, and traditionally, if you look at like classic fantasy art, by like
Mhm.
Olivia and some of those D&D artists, and in
Yeah.
the original He-Man is really kind of based in that universe. So they're not really wearing pants and halter tops. I mean, all of the characters are
Mhm.
are barbarian in style, and so it's not like they took it too far. But
That's true.
to me, it's just kind of like, I didn't see a problem with it. Is it one of the things where I'll look at it and go, this makes me not want to watch it? No.
No,
I
it's
would have
not.
I would have liked it to stay a little more traditional, a little more barbarian in style, but
Yeah.
I understand why it had to change.
Yeah, I understand it too, and that was really my only nitpick was just her haircut. I guess her rebellious haircut against her dad.
Yeah.
For a better term. I just hope my daughter doesn't do that. But
Whatever you know what, if you really want your daughter to look a certain way, tell her the way you hate her looking is the coolest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
She will do the complete opposite of that and say, oh my God, please, please, please do not cover up all of your skin and wear smart, sensible shoes and dress nicely.
That's true.
Honey,
That
I
is
want
true.
you to go get a nose ring and some tattoos, and I want you to show off your midriff and like a plaid skirt that's like up to your thigh.
That's how you do it.
That girl will run from whatever you say.
That's how you do it.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God, who thinks that's cool? It's not cool.
But God, my dad wants me to dress like this. Like, he's like, I totally need to look goth and wear like boots and like.
Oh, you got your hair like that. Oh
Yeah.
God, so dumb, stupid.
I'm going to Sunday school just to spite you, Dad.
That's so fetch.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So anything else you watch, Chris? Or
Man.
okay, wait. Did you get caught up on What If?
I did.
So you finally get the reference of potty poopa.
I do, and it was very funny. I
Finally.
I laughed. I LOL'd when it came up. I was like, ha ha. Okay.
What If is another one that's really freaking awesome.
It's great. Okay, so you're caught up on that show too, James, right?
So the last one I've seen, and again, since full disclosure, since NerdCon started, like huge chunks of my time are being dedicated to that. So I've been following behind. But I the last one I've seen was What If Doctor Strange,
okay. Oh wow, that one's quite a ways back.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I've seen the Doctor Strange and the What if T'Challa became Star Lord and
Star-Lord, okay.
Captain Carter and
Okay.
I do think the show is really well done.
So you haven't
I
gotten to the
enjoy it.
zombies yet.
No, I saw the zombies. I've seen the
Okay.
zombies. I've seen that one. Yes.
Okay.
And that one is actually, I think that one might be my favorite. I did like Captain Carter a lot, but I think the zombies might be my favorite.
Okay.
I kind of the T'Challa Star Lord one. Just simply, I think it was too perfect. Like I get it. We want to pay him respect,
Yeah.
and in his passing, but like really, he's going to convert Thanos. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what if after all.
Yeah.
It
Suddenly
is a
the
what if.
universe is perfect.
I kind of had to like suspend my disbelief with that one for apparently it's magic time again. I had to
Where did all
suspend
these
my
sounds come from?
it's Fantasia time. But I had to suspend my disbelief for that one just because I mean Chadwick Boseman I think was a great Black Panther, great person in life and all that. I think that episode really pandered too much to him as being a perfect person, where they didn't really focus more on his faults like they did with Peter Quill. With Peter Quill, you got a lot of his faults that made his character interesting.
Yeah.
With T'Challa, he didn't have any faults, so it was really too perfect. He was way too perfect.
Completely agree with that. Completely.
So,
I very much want to see. I think it's important that that everyone is represented in a positive light. But I think your best characters are the ones that have their quirks, that have their flaws.
yes.
And if you look at even in Black Panther, I mean, there was a lot of things that he had to overcome.
Yeah.
And he had to. And when you watch Captain America, Civil War,
Yes.
his arc is probably the best part of that movie.
It is.
Right, that whole part at the end where he has the opportunity to kill Zemo and he chooses not to.
Mm-hmm.
That's freaking, that was a freaking brilliant moment of forgiveness and growth of a character. But that person that he was prior to that decision, to me, is not the person that would have converted Thanos and made the universe whole.
No, he would have taken Thanos out or tried to find a way to take him out before all that. As far as episodes go, one of my favorites now is the Thor episode, just because he becomes a dude bro, and it is great. It is so good. And so
Chris Hemsworth as Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, it's Chris Hemsworth as Chris Hemsworth, and I don't know how. This is probably part of the Natalie Portman deal, to where, hey, we'll put you in Thor 4 if you do this role with all the animation voices, and she was signed on to do that. But Natalie Portman's in the episode too, so it's even better. But yeah, as far as episodes go, Marvel Zombies is probably the top, just because it's Marvel Zombies. But Dude Bro Thor is really good. And then,
I'm totally gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, it's. I think the only weak episode that I found, only because of the episode listings, is the Killmonger episode. Only because that had to follow Marvel Zombies the next week. And to be honest, Marvel Zombies is a hard one to follow. That's a hard show to follow. It's not going to be good.
Listen, James, when you watch that Thor episode, man, make sure you go get you like a 12-pack of White Claw and get you a can of Axe body spray. You know what I mean?
Wait, you mean get? I've already got dude, who doesn't shower in that stuff, right? I mean,
You're like, I got a subscription box that comes in monthly.
Like, I'm right here, right now.
And I'll say this: one of the best parts of that episode of Dude Bro Thor, there's a guy in the background yelling stuff. That is hilarious. He is hilarious, and you have to kind of rewind it or put the captions on to hear him. But he's just yelling stuff in the background that's
Exactly,
like, wait a minute, what? And you'll start laughing just because of what he says. So,
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, great episode.
I will tell you one thing I've been watching in the last 30 minutes or so. Is my wife.
Besides your wife?
Well, my wife.
You're watching your wife?
I mean,
Under 2 years. They're under 2 years.
Yes,
she was.
I'm suddenly intrigued.
She was perusing her phone, looking at the gram, and
Okay.
her and I both, for different reasons. I follow Britney Spears on Instagram because she's hot. My
Yeah.
wife follows Britney Spears on Instagram because she's Britney Spears. She turns her phone to show me while I'm talking to you guys.
Uh-huh.
Britney Spears has a post on her Instagram. It's like 7 or 8 pictures of her nude, with strategically placed flowers. As Aaron is going straight to his phone, I was like, so if I seemed distracted about 20 minutes or so ago, that was why. I was just like, holy.
Oops, he did it again.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
she did.
Yes, she did. So I was like, holy crap, you gotta be kidding me. So I watched that while I was listening to you guys and chiming in.
I'd watch that
'Cause, you know,
too.
red-blooded American male, I can't help myself, you know.
I'd watch that too. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
buddy.
doubt that. I suspect he was holding himself the whole time.
Both hands
Hand
up.
check,
Both
hand
hands
check.
up.
Hey, you know what? I'm grown. I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm not raising my hands.
I pay the bills in this bitch. I ain't putting my hands. I put my hands where I want
That's
to.
right. I am comfortable with
Oh
it.
my
Yes,
god.
yes.
Oh Jesus.
That's
No,
and you know what they say. You go blind. I got my glasses on right here to prove it's correct.
The eye blockers.
You're like, I have the left hand of a Wookiee. Don't even fucking ask me about what
That's
I'm
right. That's right.
doing.
Yeah,
Man, outside of like listening and watching, I definitely got caught up on What If. Did the first 3 episodes of Star Wars Visions. I watched, of course, AEW for all the wrestling marks and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I love watching AEW blow WWE out of the water, and I love seeing Vince flounder and try to find some way to put something on TV that we give a shit about with the lackluster writing and the talent they've got. You know what I say that? Not that I apologize. Not lackluster talent, because there's a lot of talented people wrestling in WWE for sports entertaining. But my issue is the storylines are hot garbage. So I don't know if you watch any wrestling at all, James. Probably not. I'm not sure, but
oh no, I went to college.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, when I'm not at Poncho's and I'm in my trailer watching wrestling,
Yeah.
you know, throw my natty lights back. You know, no, man, I just, you know,
Wrestling's fun.
exactly.
Wrestling is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then, like I've totally turned off a whole lot of people right now. Like, no, wrestling is cool. I mean, you know, am I like watching currently? No, I mean, it's not one of the things I have a lot of time for. But wrestling, you know, in the '80s, like, everybody watched it. You know, Roddy Piper, and you know, the Iron Sheik and the Junkyard Dog, and Hulk Hogan. I love that stuff.
yeah, man.
Cyndi
You're calling
Lauper
up a lot of
was
good
on there
memories
for
for
some
people. The
reason.
rock and wrestling connection, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, anyway, that's what I've had time for. We've discussed this. Like, none of
Yes.
us here have time to do jack shit anymore because we're all
Nope.
40,
Pretty
40
much.
or more, and we just have
40, 48.
responsibilities.
48.
Am
I 48? I'm like
37.
47. I'm 40. I don't
47.
know. I'm 40 something.
47 and a half.
I'm
Something like
22.
Okay. You're 20. All right, they're Taylor Swift. Okay.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so
Dude, you're 22.
Oh, real quick, I just want before we go into the
Who's that
bracket thing, I did watch something downstairs before this podcast. They were showing the Disney 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World,
yes.
and they were talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Rewind that they're putting in at Epcot.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much you know about it, Aaron, but I know you're a big Nova fan. This thing is Nova heavy. That's
Really?
right. Nova.
They said they're building a
Heavy.
full-size.
They're putting a full-size Nova ship on the outside. The ride cars are Nova ships, and the whole thing's based around Xandar.
Okay.
So
Hopefully
it's
this
gonna be real Nova heavy.
hopefully
It will
this will
be
lead
open.
into Richard Rider. Hopefully this
That would be awesome.
it
It will
would
be
be
open
great.
by the time we all go.
You keep
Because we're
saying
going
that.
around the 40th anniversary of Epcot.
You keep saying that. I keep saying it's not going to happen.
Don't worry, dude. I'll go live on Facebook for you so you can watch me as I have fun.
You'll lose
Yeah.
your phone on the backwards launch.
No, I
I'm
won't.
just saying, if the show is sponsoring this thing, I'm happy to tag along.
No, that's PowerCon.
That's PowerCon. That's PowerCon next year. So basically, to kind of finish the segment out, I'll say what I watched just to kind of get out of the way, and played. I already said I beat Dante's Inferno. Halo Infinite betas are out, and you can play Halo Infinite now.
Oh, I signed up for it.
Yeah, good. You better. So I've been playing that. It's been fun. A lot of fun with that one. I have started watching like everybody else Squid Game on Netflix. Thing is, I've already seen this before. It was under a different name called As the Gods Will, that came out years ago as a movie from Japan. If you have Funimation, you can watch As the Gods Will. Very good movie. CGI not that great, but it's a great show. Or that's a
The
great
premise
movie.
is awesome. Yeah.
It's a great movie. Squid Game was heavily influenced by that movie, heavily influenced by the anime series Gantz, Gantz, and heavily influenced by the movie's Battle Royale. Still a good show. Squid Game is still a good show, but it is not original at all as people are trying to make it out to be. So I'm saying check these 3 other things out, watch them, then come back and watch Squid Game and look at the comparisons, and you'll be highly amused how similar they are, especially As the Gods Will. I know me and Chris saw that at Texas Frightmare Weekend years back.
It was dope.
It was great. I thought it still had the Blu-ray over here. It's somewhere back there. But great movie. As the Gods Will is a great movie. Squid Game is a great show. Definitely recommend it. But just know that it's heavily influenced. And that's pretty much all I've been watching is that. I've been staying up watching that show, trying to get caught up, trying to watch that. And then also What If. I finally caught up on all that. So
I love that now everything we have to catch up on.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy thing. But it's cool because now with streaming you can catch up on it.
You can.
You leave this podcast
like
with
she's
homework.
famous for not watching stuff until it's all on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing I love about Netflix is they drop that bitch every episode and you can watch it all on one weekend. But like Disney Plus and Amazon and Hulu, they make you go in week by week by week to catch up, which drives me nuts. Like just drop it already.
I remember
like
people
6
complained
hours.
I remember people complained about Mandalorian being weekly, the drop for that. But everybody stayed up till like 1 a.m. to watch it, and then went to work like dead tired the next day because they stayed up to watch Mandalorian. Same thing with so good. Same thing with Bad Batch. I remember when Bad Batch came out, people were staying up to watch that, and that's animated. That's an anime show.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Bad Batch. I do love a lot of Star Wars animation.
Bad Batch is good. Bad
really
Batch is
Rebels,
really good.
Just so I totally needed to say it. But now here on the TV, my wife's got AMC on, and they're playing Halloween 3.
Halloween 3. All right.
Halloween 3. No, Halloween 4. Halloween 4 because the 3 was the season of the witch. Yeah.
Return.
Where Michael Myers like breaks out of an ambulance that they were taking him in for some reason, and puts his thumb through a guy's head. I gotta say, like first off, I love the. Have you guys seen the trailer for the new Halloween movie coming out?
Yes.
Oh
It
yeah.
has a full
Oh my
soundtrack
God.
so far.
Got a cool soundtrack.
So good.
It
Looks
does.
so good.
It does.
And the idea that all of the survivors are now hunting him.
Yeah.
Freaking brilliant. Love it. Love it. But you got to ask yourself, like, if in the 1978 movie he's already in his 20s, like the fact that this dude can even walk still is like let alone killing people. Like this dude is the bomb. Like
cardio and diet's important, James, when you're locked away in the mental asylum.
You know what it is? You know what the secret is? You know what the secret is? Activia.
Yeah.
Activia is the secret.
Like what? Yeah, you got to wonder what is this dude doing when he's not killing people? He's a mall walker.
I think he does Tybo with Billy Blank's Tybo.
He's got his new
I got to
balance
get my
shoes.
cardio up because I got a whole bunch of people to kill in a month. So
I have a bunch of magical walking to do where everybody tries to run away from me, and I just suddenly pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And like they just showed Halloween 2, and like Jamie Lee Curtis shoots him dead in his eye.
Yeah.
In his eye. And he gets up.
Both eyes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
he shoots both eyes out. Yeah.
What a fucking dead shot she is, right? She's like,
and now
I got a moving target and I got a 22
to kill
pistol.
him in like 6 movies, and now she's going to come back as an old lady and do it. But whatever. But I love the premise. I think it looks fantastic.
Well, Halloween Kills is technically Halloween 3 Volume 3. Because this is the third movie in their universe of remakes and everything. So it's confusing as hell.
Well, yeah, because I'm assuming, and I it's been a long time since I've seen it, so don't butcher me on this one. But like H2O she comes back.
H2O was the first sequel, or
Okay.
take back the second sequel to the first movie.
Okay.
And then
So
Halloween
did they
2018.
pretend that the Halloween number 2 didn't happen at all?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Okay.
It's very
Okay.
confusing. It's very
Okay.
So here's how it goes. You have Halloween the first, the 78, right? The other
Mhm.
one that came out in the 80s, which as part 2.
Mhm.
So parts 2, 4, 5, and 6 happened in that universe. H2O happens and erases from 2 through 6, and it's his own thing. So now it's a new sequel. So you have Halloween 78, H2O, and then Resurrection. Then you jump to Halloween 2018, which is another direct sequel to the 78 one, which erases everything else before that too. So you have Halloween, and now Halloween Kills.
Okay.
It's
Now, are you still with
basically
me? Are you
Now,
still with me?
thankfully, we're not including the Rob Zombie films. Though, I'm going to say I have mixed feelings about the Rob Zombie films as well.
Oh, I hate those. I hate those movies.
I thought the first one that they did was really good.
I
was like,
am
"Man,
surprised that
this is
Genuine.
good."
I'm surprised that Genuine's song "Pony" wasn't the official theme song for the second Rob Zombie movie.
Oh, the
man.
second Rob Zombie movie is shit. I mean, crap.
Was
Yeah,
it
it's terrible.
satin, white
It is
satin?
like, what is going on? Because I love the backstory of Michael Myers in the
Yeah.
first film, where they show him as a boy, and you know he beats the crap out of that Spy Kids dude,
Yep.
and like I loved that. I thought that was so well done.
See,
And
but
then he creates this crap where he sees his mother, and the
Well-
girl went from living in a normal home to living in some shithole, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what were you on when you made this film, dude?
Well, his wife, but
Yeah.
because of that, he had to put her in. He had to put her in the movie again. That he had to shoehorn her in.
happy
So-
wife, happy life, gentlemen.
Hey, when you meet her at the stripper, you can only go up the pole.
Oh,
He's in
down.
love with a stripper. I think the ones that succeeded were the ones that had John Carpenter's blessings, essentially, right?
Well,
Isn't John Carpenter the catalyst for all these reboots, essentially?
okay, here's the thing with John Carpenter. Many years ago, at a Texas Farmer Weekend convention, there was a Q&A, and someone asked him what are his thoughts about the sequels for Halloween. This is right before Zombies Halloween came out, and Carpenter very firmly said, "You know what? Every morning I wake up, I pour myself a bowl of cereal, I hold my hand out in the air, a check appears, and I'm happy." And that was all he said. That was all he said. So,
well, you know, and I've heard, and the initial intention with the Halloween series was they were going to do the first 2 movies, and then they were going to like treat it like American Horror Story, where each movie was a different storyline.
yes,
You know, like the American Horror Stories, every season is a different storyline. So that was the original intent, and that's why the third one was the Season of the Witch, or
Season of the Witch.
But,
Well,
you know,
to even further that, Halloween was intended to be a sequel to another movie. It's supposed to be the sequel to the movie Black Christmas with Billy in the house. They're going to do a horror movie for each holiday. So you start off with Black Christmas, we do Halloween, and then there would be another movie, and it would just keep going with the different holidays. That didn't happen because legends and studios and money happens. That didn't ever materialize. But the Halloween franchise, well, it happens. And I'm happy for Halloween Kills.
it looks.
I'm
it
going
looks
to be there.
good.
I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna watch it.
You know, Carpenter. I mean, he's done some pretty amazing stuff. You know,
yeah.
I mean, he's behind The Thing. He's behind They Live, if I'm not mistaken.
They Live, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China.
Those
Ghost of
those
Mars
movies right there. You know, I mean, as good as Halloween is, man, I would take The Thing or They Live. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, he even did one of his movies was the anthology that he wanted to do for some of the other like holiday theme movies, Body Bags. That's an anthology movie that's really good. That kind of gets overlooked by Halloween and the other stuff. But if you watch that movie, Carpenter's having fun making that movie. You can tell he's just having a lot of fun making that movie. So it's a fun one. And yeah, Halloween Kills. I'm hyped for it. It's going to be on Peacock and it's going to be on the theaters at the same time, I believe. So you can watch them both on the same day if you want to pay for it in theaters, or you just put it on Peacock.
I think there's a big part of me wants to go support it in theaters, man, because I want to see this thing do well. I like this 2018 reboot. So I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine I would hate this other one, man. Didn't he also do Big Trouble in Little China? Or am I crazy?
He did. No, he did Big Trouble in Little China.
And we're talking about cinematic gold.
And he also did John Carpenter's Village of the Damned with Christopher Reeves, and at the time, skinny Christy Alley. So I mean, he's done some good stuff.
I love how you categorize her as skinny Christy Alley. Like her career completely ended after she got fat.
Well, no, she fluctuates, but Village of the Damned was toward the end of her skinny career or skinny life, and before she did the whole the Jenny Craig and all that stuff. But
before she found Zenmu and got her thesis.
Yeah.
Well, as a former fat guy, I mean, kudos to her for working on that.
Sure.
Yeah, the thing I think with Halloween though, and by the way, Carpenter, he also did Christine, if I'm not mistaken, right? Him and Stephen
yes, he did.
His and Stephen King's, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
Which another good film. It's one of those films though. When you watch it again, you're like, oh, okay, well, okay. Maybe it's not as shiny as I quite remember it, but it's still good. It's still good. But no, I think Halloween kind of represents, you and I were talking before the podcast started about, kind of the 80s and how they really set the tone for, the way pop culture was commercialized and how you have so much great pop culture that came out of the 80s and it gets rebooted and remade today. But I also think there was a dark side to that. And I think Halloween, is an example of great movies like the Aliens franchise. You had two amazing movies in that franchise. Yeah. And then, then it became a money grab. And I think so many horror films became that way. They became, and not just horror, but so many films in that time frame, they make these brilliant first two movies. And then it's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's half-ass this and just milk the franchise. And so I think, that's why you have so many crappy sequels. It's just they became a cash grab on something that was brilliant. Alien and Aliens, totally freaking brilliant, but then they made
totally two different movies. Those are two totally different movies as well.
Yeah,
we're the ones that are guilty of making it happen, man. We're always chasing the dragon.
Well, if you think about it,
because we're hoping that this time it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
like the last Terminator movie they made. I wanted that movie to be good so bad.
Yeah.
And
Genesis?
Not Genesis. The one that they did after that with the director of Deadpool, where Linda.
Tim Miller.
Tim Miller.
Old man Arnold. Old man.
Where we find out they actually killed John Connor, which, whatever. And so it was like, it was very anti-male, and I Well, when you look at Sarah Connor and you look at Ellen Ripley, they were strong without having that, and they rose to it, right?
Yeah, they did.
And Alien, what makes Ellen Ripley great is in the first one she's trying to survive, right?
Yes.
And then in the second one, she becomes the protector. She has to rise through this to get to its greatness.
Yep.
Same thing with Sarah Connor. In the first one, she's trying to survive so she can have her unborn child. In the second one, she becomes this great protector. There's not any kind of agenda or anything. Those characters are genuine. You look at, to me, the great characters are empowered by, a lot of their family relationships. Legend of Billie Jean. Perfect example. You got Helen Slater playing Billie Jean with her brother Christian Slater in the film, and it speaks not only to her strength but to the strength of the family unit. And so much great stuff is missed by a lot of what we're seeing today. And I felt like they really dropped the ball on that with that last Terminator movie.
Yeah, I just remember. I didn't see the Terminator movie. I still haven't seen that one yet, but I remember 2 weeks after they came out, somebody interviewed Edward Furlong because the big rumors were leading up to that movie was that Edward Furlong, he went to rehab, he was getting in shape, he was going to the gym, he wanted to get back into John Connor's shape. And all of a sudden, there's a video that pops up of him at a convention. He's much skinnier. He's still kind of plump for his age, but he's much skinnier than what he looked like. And the first thing he says is, "No, man, I wasn't in that movie. Didn't you see they dusted my ass?" And that was it. I'm like, oh, okay. Great.
And the way they did
Great.
it too, it wasn't like he had survived. It wasn't, like it was just like, hey, he's a kid now. Boom, we're gonna.
Yeah.
You got. I've just spoiled it for you, but yeah, it's.
Yeah, I already
It's
know what
just
happened.
so much of it's so disappointing, and again, you've got Sarah Connor, who's very jaded in the film, and it's just
Yeah.
it's such a turnoff. I don't want to see characters who are so heroic become so jaded.
Yeah,
And
pretty
that's
much.
become a vehicle for Hollywood. It's like we can't tell a story with a great character, especially a female character, without them being somewhat jaded. And
Yeah,
there's so much more they could do with that.
that's true.
I mentioned The Legend of Billie Jean. I would hate to see what they would do with that today
Ooh, yeah,
because it's such a brilliant film.
yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I'll definitely agree with you on that one. There's just some movies that should not be touched, and there's some movies that could use an update. I'm not gonna lie, there could be some use an update.
Well, if you were to do like the series they did for Terminator, I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
The series that they did in the 2000s. I'd love to see them do another series for Terminator, and you could modernize it, but do it like you did Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like Sarah's still the main supporting character, but she's kind of enhanced by her little Scooby gang. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I
Well,
would
did they
love
try
to
to do that with? Did they have that Sarah Connor Chronicles that they tried
Yeah,
back in
that
the?
was brilliant.
Yeah, okay, I never
Yeah.
watched it. I didn't.
Oh
Watch
my
it.
God, you gotta see it. It's good. It's
I'll add
really
it to
good.
my list of things I need to watch with like half of Netflix right now and half of
I'll
Shudder.
never get around to all the shit I need to
So
watch. Man.
much like they do with the Halloween movies, Sarah
Mhm.
Connor Chronicles takes off from the second movie after the second movie, and they do a time jump. So they
Okay.
pretend the third one doesn't happen, right?
Most fans do.
Yeah, and so they do a time jump into the 2000s, and it's
Yeah.
and you really kind of see her raising him into a young man, and they're
Okay.
her role becomes not just the hero anymore, but she's really kind of, she's Obi-Wan. She's the Jedi trainer.
Yeah.
She's turning him into John Connor. So.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
God, are we going to do this bracket thing? God, or just keep talking?
We are.
and going
Actually,
on? Why did you
let's-
ask me to be on your show? Because I dominate everything with my voice. I get in and I just talk and talk and talk.
Hey, there are some people who don't like to talk. There's some people who do like to talk, and it is. We wanted to have you on here mainly because of your age of these OG.
Oh my
bracket
God!
system.
Yeah,
So basically,
tell us
okay,
about
You were the
your
only
old
person we knew who might be allowed to know these films.
pretty much. Dwayne was busy, so we got you. So, so basically, here's the rules for the brackets. We're going to cover the OG section all the way down to the final one. The rule is, there's three of us. Most votes wins. Gets the pick. Gets to go on. So, James, I know you submitted your bracket earlier. You have a chance to kind of win your bracket system for this section to
All
make
right.
sure you get the most points. Here's the catch, though. Each one of us gets one challenge. That means that the vote is not going the way that you want it to go. Throw your challenge out there. Give your reason why to try to convince the other people to vote your way.
All right.
So you get a challenge to throw down if you don't like what's happening.
Well, let's
And
do
you only
it,
get
man.
one challenge. That's all you get. So you can use it at the beginning or use it toward the end. It's up to
All
you.
right. So let me ask you this then. Let's
Yes.
say I want to do my challenge. What if I'm looking at this and I want to wait until the end? But let's say like I'm looking at Creature from the Black Lagoon versus House of Dracula,
Uh-huh.
right? And that one ends up being the one that I want to challenge. Can I challenge at the end?
Nope. Give the challenge as soon as we're like basically when we cast our vote, I'll say any challenges. And if there is silence, then we move on to the next one.
Oh my God, you have not picked the right guy if you need silence.
Oh, I know.
Holy
I'm
shit,
finding it
man.
out now.
This might be your longest podcast ever. Like when I did Greg Kelso's show, The Con Hour, which everybody's seen like plastered all over Facebook, like he had a hard stop. He just stopped me mid-sentence, dude, and the show was over.
I'll just say this.
You might have to do that.
I'll just say this. I have one friend that we haven't brought on here yet, who is a known talker. So much so that when they did it behind the scenes for a movie that he was a part of, he was a part of a 3-man group for behind the scenes talking. He talked over everybody in that episode and made it all about him. He hasn't been brought on yet, but I'm working on bringing him on. And he's like a pretty famous artist too. So I can't wait for that day.
If you ever want to have 2 guests on, I would love to be on with that guy because I will totally challenge his dominance.
Challenge the talking.
That's right.
So basically, if you're listening right now, everybody out there listening, we are covering the OG bracket. So get your pens out. Hopefully your Struck of Luck is with you. And let's kind of jump into that. So our first showdown, Creature from the Black Lagoon versus House of Dracula. Both are Universal monster movies. Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954. House of Dracula, 1945. And James, I'll let you pick first on this one. Who are you going to go with?
Got to go with the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Creature?
Yeah, just the way it's shot, it's brilliant, beautiful, great special effects.
Chris,
Can't go wrong.
what you got?
I'm inclined to agree on pretty much the same points, man. I mean, I wasn't there. I'm not that damn old. But I can tell you, I would have to rather. I would guess what we saw in the movie was groundbreaking, given the underwater and the special effects makeup, and not to mention, I forget the actor's name, but risking your life to be the swimming creature in that damn suit.
To be the
I mean, it's not like the technological advances were there to really just kind of, like that guy swimming in that suit reminds me of those pictures you see in black and white where those guys are standing at their fucking tool belt with their hat and they're standing on the I-beam 500,000 feet above New York City on a crane. They're just eating a sandwich like it's no big deal. I'm like, you crazy son of a bitch, you're about to die.
That is true.
That's the respect they get out of me. So I'm going to go Creature.
Let's go Creature. I'm going to sweep it. Creature advances.
Boom.
Creature advances. Next up, we have 1943's Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman versus 1939's Son of Frankenstein. Chris, you go first.
Man, a lot of these picks for me are going to be nostalgia picks because it's been a long time since I've seen a lot of these.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just really kind of some of these I'm going to fly blind on.
Okay.
I don't remember a lot about them, but I'm really going to say just based on the idea of it, Frankenstein meets Wolfman. I like that.
Okay. I'm going to cast my vote. I'm going to go with Frankenstein Meets Wolfman. James?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Frankenstein Meets Wolfman. I mean, you got two iconic characters in the movie together, original actors. I think that's the way you go on that one.
Yeah,
More bang for your buck, man. 1943. You never spent a dime better in your life.
Well, I mean, like they're basically building that whole. They wanted to do that whole Universal Monsters universe. I mean, they did that then.
The 1943
The Dark Universe. Yeah.
Pretty much. They tried
Monster
doing it back
Cinematic
then.
Universe.
They tried doing that back then. All right, so next up, we have 1931's Dracula versus 1933's Invisible Man.
Ooh.
So I will start this one off. I'm going to go Dracula just because he's so iconic. He's so, you can't, there's nothing that's not been parodied off of him. From Count Dracula's Serial to Morbius in the Spider-Man universe, he's iconic. He's straight up iconic. Invisible Man, I'm not gonna lie, has had the better movies like within the last 20 years, but Dracula's just so iconic. So I'm gonna go him. James, what's your pick?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Invisible Man, and
Okay.
they're both iconic characters, but for me, it came down to especially as I'm going back and I'm looking at these trailers.
Yeah.
The special effects for the Invisible Man for the time were phenomenal. I mean,
Yes.
you actually, as he takes off the wraps, you really see, you see through the man. So I'm going to say Invisible Man.
Okay. Oh, Chris, this is tiebreaker.
This is not the most enviable position to be in for someone who's a lover of all things horror. There's some arguments to be made for both. I mean, like you said, the cultural impact of Dracula is undeniable.
Yes.
I mean, timeless character. Like you said, all the way down to goddamn Serial. I mean, what can you say? Now, to James's point, Invisible Man, again, visually groundbreaking. The special effects at that point to basically were they splicing film to do that essentially?
Yep.
Or
they were splicing film,
there
light
was no
tricks.
blue screen. Yeah.
Well, they tried to do like blue screen and stuff like that, and also used I believe what do they call it, like claymation or like miniature work to get some of that stuff in.
Yeah.
So
damn man, I already hate this. I really don't want to be this in this position.
yep.
Fuck. Man.
To fuck or not to fuck?
That's the question. Son of a bitch. I'm just gonna. I love Invisible Man, and the movies like we're talking about Hollow Man. We're talking about that new what you call Invisible
Yeah.
Man they did recently was really brilliant.
Yeah, those are really good. Those are really good.
But
I even say this, even the Invisible Man TV show that came out like 15 years ago was also really good too. So
And not to forget Sue Richards, the Invisible Woman. I mean, come on.
this album needs to work.
oh my god, I'm just damn it, dude. Dracula's undeniable. Dracula is undeniable. Bela Lugosi.
Didn't go Dracula?
Yeah, I mean, how many other movies can you? I mean, there's more spin-offs from Dracula, more inspiration from Dracula than there has been for Invisible Man, unfortunately.
That it? James, you want to challenge? Or you're gonna
No,
let it go?
I'm gonna let it go. I'm
Let
gonna
it
let it go because you know what? Look, there's no doubt that Bela Lugosi is iconic, and I mean, let's be honest, he did like every freaking horror movie back in the day.
He did.
But you know, it wasn't one of those decisions where I was like, there was a huge gap because anytime you're talking about one of the universal monsters, and particularly, you know, you talk Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, Black Lagoon. I mean, any one of those is iconic and great, and they're going to resonate more so with the people of the day. I mean, like Invisible Man, he's part of that B team group. Like he's still he's still an important character. He's still somebody people recognize from that universe, but he's in that next group down. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. So next we have 1932's The Mummy versus 1939's Tower of London. So James, you're leading this one off. What's your pick?
You know what? And when you look at the Tower of London, and I see this, and what's cool about it is Vincent Price.
Yes.
Right. Vincent Price is in this film, and you know, and watching the trailer on this one, going back and refreshing my memory on it, the dude is big. Like he is a monster in himself.
He is very tall. He's a very tall person.
As much as I think Vincent Price is really cool. It goes back to the effects, the makeup effects. The makeup for the Mummy is just so good.
Yes.
And so I got to give it to the Mummy. I mean, you know, and plus it's, you know, again, he's one of those main universal characters. You know, Tower of London did, you know, it's kind of a torture movie, but you know, I mean, you look at the Mummy and it inspires the Mummy of the 1990s with Brendan Fraser, and then that crap they did with Tom Cruise. But I got to go Mummy.
You know, I mean, in fact, they also made. He was also one of the other ones that actually had a cereal based off of him too, with Yummy Mummy cereal. That's how iconic he is. That he cereal, he's been spoofed and parodied all over the place. So yeah, the Mummy is very iconic. I'm gonna go next with my vote. I'm gonna go with also the Mummy. As much as I love Tower of London, I think Tower of London is one of Vincent Price's better roles that he's had starting out. But compared to the Mummy, it's the atmosphere, it's the lighting, it's all of that which makes it really good. And I can't go against the Mummy. It's just iconic. Chris, so right now it's 2 for the Mummy, Chris.
You know, I'm gonna be that guy in this whole thing where I'm gonna try to champion the underdog a little bit.
Okay.
If memory serves correctly, Tower of London was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, wasn't it? Okay.
To a degree, yeah. To a degree, it was.
To a degree, yeah. Essentially. I mean, the clear winner for Mummy is the clear winner because we're talking about cultural impact. We're going to throw the word icon around a lot today.
Yes, we are.
But it's not lip service, and we're going to be when we. I have a feeling when we say the word icon, we're talking real icons here.
So wait, I got to ask: are you throwing your challenge down? Are you going to throw your challenge out?
Not just yet, man. Not just yet. I want to give credit where credit's due. I feel like at one point in my life I was an underdog in a lot of things, so I'm going to be the one to wave that flag a lot. But no, I mean I have to give her credit where credit's due and say the Mummy, hands down.
Okay, all right. I just, you know, hey, it's a fair choice. It's a fair choice.
Word.
All right. So next up we have 1941's The Wolfman versus 1932's Island of Lost Souls. And Chris, kick it off.
Here's a blind pick. I'll be honest with you. Never saw Island of Lost Souls. I don't know what the hell we're talking about here. It's definitely not Dr. Moreau, right? Can you give me a rundown on it real quick?
Isle of Lost Souls. This one has actually been remade a few times. It's kind of. I know the remake. I've only seen the remake, like within the last 10 years. That the original I saw a long time ago, and I can't really remember too much about it. But it's one of those lost Universal movies.
So it is Dr. Monroe, though.
It is Dr. Monroe?
Yeah. You ever see that Simpsons Treehouse of Terror episode where they go to the island and they all get turned into animals? It's basically that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with
with Bela Lugosi in it too. With Bela Lugosi in it.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi was like in everything.
He's in everything.
He's the Samuel L. Jackson of his generation.
Sick and tired of these motherfuckers. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. No, anyway, no, definitely Wolfman. I mean,
Wolfman.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play it safe until one just jumps out at me where I have to speak up and challenge.
Okay.
But there's just some towers too tall to climb, man, and we're talking about some seriously tall towers right now. So Wolfman is it for me.
Wolfman's it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say sweep it. I'm also gonna go with. No wait, I'm not saying sweep it. James hasn't voted yet.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Wait a minute, I can't sweep it yet.
He's like, we've had entirely too much quiet. He forgot I was here.
Yeah. Sorry. So James, your pick: Wolfman or Island of Lost Souls?
You know what? And full disclosure. I mean, I do think Wolfman is good. There is regret in the character. There's some development for its time. But I'm going Lost Souls on this. If we were talking about Wolfman like 2007, Benicio del Toro, that Anthony Hopkins, that movie is freaking awesome. My kid, we watched that. Jaden was like 3 years old or something, and we watched that Wolfman, and I was terrified that he was going to be freaked out and scared. As soon as the movie was up, he was up there screaming, going rah, rah. He's running around the house pretending to be the Wolfman. So I loved that movie, but. If you're comparing the two films, and again, Wolfman's so iconic, he's great, but I think the storyline and the acting on Island of Lost Souls looks so much better. I think if I had $5 and I could only see one of those two films, I'm probably going to see Island of Lost Souls.
Okay, fair enough. I do like Wolfman, just Lon Chaney Jr. I thought he was great. I am a sucker for Dr. Monroe type stuff. With the mutants and the animal human hybrids, those are always fun. I saw the remake of Island of Lost Souls, the one that was made in the late 70s or early 80s. So I've only seen that one.
I don't understand.
But after hearing James talk, and after hearing Chris talk,
think about it.
My decision, I'm going to say, you know what? Island moves forward. I'm going to go Island of Lost Souls moves forward.
There's a whole group of tweens who go and buy handbags with pictures of classic monsters on them going, no!
Pretty much. But next up, we got 1946's She-Wolf of London versus The Bride of Frankenstein. And I'll start this one off. To be honest, I've seen both of these. Both are fun. Both are good in somewhat their own ways. Bride of Frankenstein, to me, is better than Frankenstein the movie. It's much better. It's a better sequel. But She-Wolf of London's also always fun too. But I'm going to pick. I'm gonna go She-Wolf of London. That's my pick. So James, what's your pick?
You know what? I'm just gonna. I was much more impressed with Bride, and she's iconic. Okay. And let's be honest. I mean, watching it, he's basically he abducts her. He does. It's really freaky. Like today, he would probably have some kind of harassment claim on him, and they couldn't make that film. But
oh, they'd cancel his ass quicker.
Yeah,
shit.
They were like, Frankenstein is a groper, whatever, and not that would be wrong.
Hashtag Frankenstop.
Frankenstop.
Yeah.
Franken no means no.
Yeah. He needs to learn his lesson there and treat women with more respect. But I'm going Bride. She's just way too iconic. She's beautiful. And I wasn't as impressed with the She Wolf of London. I felt like it was a little overacted, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
What?
Fair enough.
I know.
1940.
Imagine a horror movie where it was overacted, but yeah, it was very
Oh.
overacted.
All right,
That's
Chris,
great, man.
you're the tiebreaker.
Well, I mean, look, man, these movies are a sign of the time, and we're, and how many unsung heroes of the golden age of horror have we left off this list? I'm sure there's any number of schlock that we're not going to cover today.
Yep.
And I know that you did your best to be as impartial as you can and pull as much out of the dredge as you can from the gutter
Yeah.
of the forgotten horror. I'm going to go Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, and only not that I advocate, abduction or anything like that, or shotgun weddings and whatnot, but there's a reason why some are still parried and talked about today, and some aren't.
That's true.
And with Hollywood being what Hollywood is, and they're constantly remaking films, so they have to remake She Wolf of London.
Yeah, I think that speaks right there.
Yeah, exactly. They're rehashing everything they haven't rehashed her, so Bride for me.
Hey, it happens. It definitely happens. So I am not going to challenge that decision at all. I'm not going to challenge it at all. So up next, let me pull my list back up. We have Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein versus 1934's The Black Cat. And I believe we're back to James choosing.
I'm going to be. I'm. This is an easy one for me. I'm going to say I watched the Black Cat trailer tonight. I've never seen this film.
Mm-hmm.
I saw nothing in it that would make me want to see it. I mean, I think Bela Lugosi is in it. But it did not seem scary. It did not seem interesting. And I'm like, look, I've been scratched by a cat before and it sucks or whatever. But to me, that was the biggest threat that came out of that movie. So, no.
Oh, man. And
look, let's be completely honest here. We're talking about their generation's greatest comic duo in Abbott and Costello. Yeah. I mean, if you forget any of their films, I mean, if you've ever seen them do that Who's on First bit, it's freaking brilliant, right? So they're already geniuses. And you add in the fact that you've got the original, you've got Bela Lugosi as Dracula, you've got Frankenstein, you've got the Wolfman, and I think both Bela Lugosi and Carlisle are Karloff are in it, and so they're using it's Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, but all of the original monsters are in it, and it's too good. I'm true. It's a home run, easy slam dunk, dude. This one is like a number one facing a number 16. It's just no way you cannot pick Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, you can't make the choice. Chris, what's your choice?
Dude, I got my challenge card ready. Get ready. So I'm just saying.
Much like James the Black Cat, just the idea, it seems kind of like a cop out and dumb to me. Yeah. That one seemed like a bit of a reach. I'm gonna go Jay and Silent Bob meet Frankenstein because listen, if you did an iconic comedic duo movie like that today, it would be Jay and Silent Bob meet, Jason Voorhees or whatever. I mean, like it would be like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like that movie would make gangbusters just on the idea alone. It wouldn't even have to be a good movie, right? So, like, I mean, seriously, like, $15, little man. Whack! He just like cuts off Silent Bob's head, and then Jay's like having to avenge. I'll avenge you, Lunchbox, and they're fighting. And come on, I mean, we would all line up to see it. It would be the number one movie. It would be the number one movie for like 3 weeks. So Abbott and Costello for me.
Yeah, it's pretty much a sweep. Funny thing is, Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi are actually in both movies. They are in Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, and they're also in The Black Cat. But I completely agree. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein is, it's
your sister.
It's the best. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the best movies.
I'm sorry. The only reason I'm laughing is because I'm in my head. There's like a commercial for maxi pads from 1946, where Bela Lugosi's like, "I am a firm believer in wings, much like these maxi pads." You know, like it's just
The
it's a whole
perfect
thing.
midnight snack.
70s.
And we throw the counts. We throw the counts laugh in there. One
Well,
wing,
this is a.
two
I know
wing.
that. I just got corrected on when wings became a thing for pads. No one's going for timeline accuracy, dear. I'm simply saying in this hypothetical commercial that, he turns into a bat who has wings, and these pads have wings. It writes itself.
It does. It does right itself. Okay, so we're on the last section for the first round. This is the final section for the first round.
Oh, man.
We have Man-Made Monster from 1941 versus 1956's The Creature Walks Among Us. And Chris, you're starting it off.
If I remember correctly, Creature Walks Among Us, wasn't it like the fucking iguana or whatever it was?
It's the Gillman. It's part 3.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's gonna be another one for me. It's gonna be Creature Walks Among Us. I'm a huge Creature fan. I mean, you're not gonna talk amongst yourselves. Discuss.
Talk amongst yourselves. Discuss. Okay, well, James, you could be next.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Man-Made Monster to me looks like a. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it looks like a Frankenstein knockoff. I'm gonna go with Creature Walks Among Us. It is a sequel to the Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's the third in the chain, but the monster is huge, and it's pretty impressive. So I'm gonna go Creature on that one.
Yeah, pretty much Man-Made Monster is just a carnival version of Frankenstein. I mean, that's. Yeah. I mean, it's not. There's nothing there. There's nothing new there. It's just rehashed Frankenstein, but in a carnival. So yeah, no challenge or anything there. So and with that we finished our first round and nobody has issued a challenge yet.
All right.
But
oh man,
it's going to get tough. It's going to get tough. It's about to get tough. So let's start this next round.
Bring it on. I like it tough.
And we have Creature from the Black Lagoon versus Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. And I'll start this one off. And I'm going to go Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I'll second that. Yeah, I'm going to second that. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
All right, Chris?
Sweep it. Send it on through, man. I'm sorry. The Creature is just, he's, from an artistic standpoint, what a fun character to draw as well. But yeah, I'm with you.
I would think that he would be super hard to draw because of all the detail.
I love drawing. You know what? God damn it. Guess what I'm going to draw this week?
You're going to draw
Creatures, yeah. I've seen some beautiful renditions of it. And, people add color to it. And it just, I agree. It's got to be it's an amazing art piece.
It is.
Yes.
I'll just say this. If you're a fan of Famous Monsters of Filmland, Basil Gogos did an amazing Creature from Black Lagoon painting that is... they made a few shirts of it. It's him swimming, like going up toward the surface of the water. An amazing piece if you can find it. I know there's shirts made. It's been copied and it's been bootlegged all over the place. Great piece if you can find it by Basil Gogos. So next round, we have Dracula 1931 versus The Mummy 1932.
Oh, shit.
Chris, start us off.
Man, what the... Okay.
What's your favorite ride at Universal?
My favorite ride at Universal? Despicable Me.
Not the Mummy.
I'm kidding. It's not Despicable Me. Again, icon versus icon. This is the Rumble in the Jungle. Rumble in the Jungle.
Yep.
God damn it! I hate this. All right. Dracula. God.
You go Dracula?
All right. I mean, out of the two, man. I mean, if we're talking about cultural impact alone.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna go Dracula? That's your pick?
Yes.
All right, James, what's your pick?
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go Mummy. I mean,
Mummy.
They take a lot of, they really examine Egyptian culture, and they're both iconic characters.
No stereotypes. Egyptian stereotypes. It's 2021, James.
Yes, I know. Okay. But no, I'm going to say, I like the Mummy. I'm going to go back to, I think it was
better makeup, and again, and when you look at Dracula, it's overacted, So,
All right.
All right.
Good
Hashtag
evening.
justice for Emotep. Got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Imhotep.
All right. So I'm going to. My pick is going to go to Dracula, just because of the cultural influence.
Oh, man.
Do you want to challenge, James?
I'm going to challenge based on the fact that I'm the guest and you guys are teaming up against me.
Collusion.
Collusion?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You're
guys
good?
I mean, look, you can't. Dracula's a great iconic character, and so it's not like it's a big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
my favorite Dracula moment is still got to be those Frito-Lay commercials where Frankenstein shows up with a big Frito-Lay trucks, and Dracula says, "What? No dip?"
I remember
So-
I remember those commercials. It was the Monster Mash madness or something like that.
Yep.
I remember
was
that.
it circa 1993 or whatever? All
Yeah.
Yeah.
with all the trading cards in the bags. You better believe I was killing some damn chips,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
I
Yeah.
was too. Trying to get those
Oh my
cards.
God, I still kill them, and still no cards.
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel that pain too.
Those sons of bitches.
All right, so next up we have 1932's Island of Lost Souls versus 1935's Bride of Frankenstein. And James, you go first.
Bride. Just
You gonna go Bride?
for all the hot cosplay girls that like really love that dark thing going on. I'm going Bride.
Gonna go Bride? Well, I mean, Bride of Frankenstein does get a lot of hot topic play, so
That's right.
that's good. Chris, what's your answer?
Man, I don't know. All those hot cheetah girls dressed up as animal hybrids at cons. All those furries and shit. Come on.
Yeah.
No one's kink shaming. I'm just saying.
Not yet.
I've never been invited to a furry party, so I'm going to go with Bride of Frankenstein.
And I'm going to
I
sweep
know a
that.
lot of furries.
My wife knows a lot of furries.
I'm not going to question that. So
Uncut.
Next-
I will seek details later.
oh, maybe so.
Jesus.
All right, so the final battle in this round, we have 1948's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein versus The Creature Walks Among Us for 1956.
Oof.
I will start this one off. I'm going to go straight with Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, just because that's the Universal monster movie that got me into watching Universal because of this movie.
Ah.
So, and it is a fun movie. So next, I will throw it to Chris. What's your pick?
Oh, man. That's another one. Well, I think I'm going to go Abbott and Costello as well, based off the fact that Creature can't take over the whole damn bracket by himself.
I've seen the bracket results from other people. You'd be surprised.
Wow.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
James, what
James?
happened?
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go. I think Abbott and Costello, just simply because that film really probably inspired this whole horror comedy genre. Certainly had a lot of influence on it. I mean,
Yeah,
if
fair.
you look at most of these movies, they're meant to be very serious. Where this movie really laughs at itself, and it's meant to be funny, and it created a whole side genre of horror. So definitely Abbott.
Oh, it definitely did. It definitely did. There's no doubt about that.
For sure.
It definitely created the whole Shaun of the Dead type of comedy, and also like scary movie type comedy too. So
Absolutely.
it's always great. So now we are in the second to
We're the final four.
the final four.
yeah.
The final four for our picks,
For this bracket, yeah.
and we still have all of our challenges too. So-
Man, conservative.
So we have 1954's Creature from the Black Lagoon versus 1931's Dracula. James, start us off.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Creature.
The animal work that they had to do. It's
Oh,
still
God.
the best.
Sorry.
Go with it.
Oh, Jesus, man. You caught me off guard with that confidence. I just right out the gate, man.
Yeah, well,
All right.
Hey, all right. And I'll go second. I am also going to choose Creature. Chris?
I would hate myself if I went against it. Sweep it.
Sweep it?
Yeah.
Good,
I
'cause
voted
I was
against him
about,
once,
even
I'm not
though he
voting
was
against
going to
him again.
win, I was going to throw my challenge card for the case of what in the hell are you thinking?
Pretty much, yeah. So now we're down to 1935's Bride of Frankenstein versus 1948's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Ooh.
Chris, What's your pick first?
Man,
Yeah, it gets tougher as we get down to it.
it does, man. It does. And as I'm sitting here going through my mental Rolodex of what I deem as cultural impact,
Mhm.
um, at some point, Bride falls off. Unfortunately, I mean, she doesn't have the cultural impact that they're not doing a whole. There's not a whole spin off of Bride movies,
Yes.
right? Whereas,
Nope.
to your point, there's innumerable, horror comedies. One could even say most of the '80s was, for the most part, horror comedy, depending on what you
Mhm.
think is funny. So,
Yep.
you know, um, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go with Abbott and Costello.
Abbott Costello. All right, James, what's your pick?
You know what? I will agree with Chris on this that the whole horror comedy thing is very important, and that's a major cultural impact. But you know what? I look also at what we love about horror today, and how I think the Bride of Frankenstein inspired so many new characters, so many different characters, from Lily
Yep.
Munster, from
Ooh.
Morticia Adams,
Yep.
Elvira. I mean, so I'm going to go Bride because
Go Bride.
I think her cultural impact on the way we perceive females in horror. Um, I think she's just been majorly impactful. So her importance is kind of multiplied. Plus, I mean, we romanticize the relationship between the two quite a bit. So I'm going to go Bride.
You go Bride.
Hey man,
Ooh.
kudos to
Okay.
you because you have to imagine back in the day when they made that movie, it was like, let's get a broad in here, let's just get a broad and put some makeup on it.
Ooh.
That's as far as the I would imagine that's as far as the thought went into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I'm not saying that. I'm speaking for the brickheads from 1940, whatever. You know what I mean? That were like, let's film these scenes when we watch the Dodgers play against the Sox. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so the inadvertent cultural impact, I give kudos to that because I don't think that's what they went for,
Mm-hmm.
but that is, in my opinion, a fortunate offshoot of that. So just want to give you props for that. Good job. I didn't come at it from that perspective because, again, in my mind it was just like they weren't worried about what this meant for women empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, let's see what we can get away with in this movie. Whatever.
And to your point, I can agree with that. Certainly quite a bit, but sometimes influence comes when you don't expect it to.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Hmm.
Very true.
Okay. So
All
after
right, hey, Ron.
hearing both comments about that,
No
see,
pressure.
this is a tough one because of the cultural usage of the Bride of Frankenstein, her look, her being used in art, her being used as the female version of the creature for everything.
Mhm.
But then again, you got Abbott and Costello and their comedy act. You had, as a duo, it kind of revolutionized that genre, the Universal, to have laughs, because it wasn't known for laughs. It's tough. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with the Bride of Frankenstein on this one,
Ooh, wow.
just because I feel this is a better sequel than the movie that it spawned off of.
Okay.
And also the Bride, while Abbott and Costello made comedy horror a thing, I think the Bride inspired. I can't think of that movie now. Frankenstein. The
Are you talking
Oh,
about Frankenhooker, or are you
no
talking about Young Frankenstein?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Yeah.
I think Bride more inspired Young Frankenstein more than anything.
Yeah.
With that,
A young Mel Brooks was like, I like it.
I like it.
And in her own right too, Elsa Lancaster, excuse me, who was the bride. I mean, she went on to do a lot of important work and supporting characters in a lot of Disney films.
Yep.
And so she, even into her older years, she played in a lot of great films. She was in Murder by Death in '76 with Peter Sellers, the guy from Pink Panther. So I mean, which was a brilliant film. So she's done a lot of great work, and
she has.
So you can't take that away. But yeah, I got to go Bride. Bride is just so she's just so iconic. Even if you haven't seen the film, Everybody
Yes.
recognizes her. I'm going to be honest with you. If you went to a Comic-Con today and showed people a picture of Abbott and Costello, not a lot of people are going to know that. But
No.
you show them Bride of Frankenstein, they're going to be like, "Oh, that's Bride of Frankenstein."
Well, I mean, if you go to a convention, like, most of all the goth girls are wearing Bride of Frankenstein shirts.
Yeah.
So, you're
Yeah,
you're not losing out.
To echo that, like if I were to go to what's that high end auction they do with all the rare
Christie's.
stuff? Maybe so, yeah, something like that, where like the rich folks are spending their money on things like this.
Mhm.
If you had these two auctions for a original one sheet of Bride of Frankenstein, then you had an original one sheet of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yep.
I'm willing to bet that I'll admit I'm pretty sure her one sheet would sell for much more than Abbott and Costello.
I'm pretty sure she would too.
Well, look here. Let's test your theory here, and I'm going to break it down simple for you. I want you to draw some images and mass produce of Abbott and Costello, and then of the Bride of Frankenstein, and go to your next Comic-Con and see which one you sell more of.
Actually, we'll be at a toy show next weekend.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering when if we're going to see Chris at NerdCon. I'm just
we can talk. You can talk about that off air.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah,
see
man,
about that.
pay for my flight, my hotel. We'll see what we can do.
So
fly me
Chris,
from Pasadena to Baytown. Yeah, we good.
Yeah. So Chris, are you throwing out a challenge at all?
No, I think
No?
I know when to hold them, when to fold them, man. I
Okay.
think you're not going to get a big argument from me. Like I'm
Okay.
not going to be torn on these.
All right. Well, because we are at our final battle. This is it. This is the final battle for the section, and this is it. This will be James's final vote cast until next week when we get somebody else.
No problem.
So we have 1954's Creature from the Black Lagoon
Ugh.
versus 1935's Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh my god.
Both are classics. Both are pretty much merchandising giants. You cannot go to any horror convention, any Halloween store, any Spirit Halloween without seeing these two characters on posters, on shirts, rubber masks, blankets, anything. They're out there. They're out there. Unfortunately, they do not have cereal though. But these two are so iconic in their design that they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So, James, as the guest, you're going first. Who do you got?
I'm going to say that I agree with you. They're both super iconic. If you were looking at things, if I was trying to sell something, I would much rather have something on my table from Bride.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, I look at the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and its influence on the film The Shape of Water, which is just another brilliant film. I'm going Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think it's they really took you don't see a lot of creatures from the water that are monsters. I think it's a more original idea. Whereas Bride was kind of riding off the idea of Frankenstein. So I'm going to go Creature from the Black Lagoon.
You don't see a lot of creatures from the water that are iconic as him. You don't see a lot of those out there.
Certainly not ones that are, like Jaws is frightening. But Jaws is frightening because it's grounded in the real world. Like, a shark can come up and your odds of getting attacked by a shark are slim, but you have that fear.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, fuck the water.
That's grounded from real life. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is very fantasy, and you for it to become as iconic as it is, to where it would rival Jaws, but it's completely fantasy, and so yeah.
Okay, so he's going Creature. All right, Chris, what's your pick?
Oh, God. Okay. I'm sitting here like, all these ideas are bouncing around in my dome, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what kind of argument can I make for either one? Right? Because this is not, there's no loser here, and as far as I'm concerned. These are two winners through and through. Bracket placement is everything, and your starting round is determines where you end up, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, what's the sexual allegory between these two characters? You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to make an argument for either one. I mean, obviously, horror movies being what they were back in the day, where people were, man,
Yeah.
going out to the drive-in theaters and the movie theaters and the, spending that 17 cents to get that popcorn, that soda, and intermission, and they're
Yep.
taking their girl to go see a film, and which film do you want to take your girl to see where she's pissed scared and wants to jump in your lap and put her hand in the popcorn bucket? All these different things. I mean, like all these things. I'm trying to find ways to make arguments for either one. Obviously, super iconic. Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, the only thing that works against her for me
Mm-hmm.
is that she was an offshoot of a different film, as opposed to Creature being, a founding father,
Yeah.
as it were. But then again, the cultural impact for female empowerment, whether intentional or unintentional, happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about all the women who went to those movie theaters with their husbands
Mm-hmm.
and walked out thinking, hey, I don't often get to go to a movie theater and see myself in this leading role, much
Yeah.
less a leading role in a horror film,
Yes.
which I'm sure was just about unheard of back then. God bless America. You went with Creature, right?
James
I
went
went
Creature. James went Creature.
Oh man.
I mean, some people say now the Bride of Frankenstein is the modern the OG Harley Quinn, with her taking no nonsense from No Man. She was the first one to reject her
And that's
created
an
mate.
excellent, that's an excellent point, man. So just not that this is by any means a devil's advocate situation. I'm going to go with Bride because it is important. I mean,
It is.
Creature's going to win against anybody else in this bracket. He would destroy him in the last round. I mean, he
Yeah.
made it past Dracula, for God's sakes. What more else can he win? But Bride, man, I mean, she's she did a lot for the female contingency
She did.
back then, and she's doing a lot for the female contingency now.
Mhm. That is
As
true.
odd as it feels for me, because I love the Creature, I'm going to go with
Mhm.
Bride.
Okay, that's a good pick. That is a good pick.
So no pressure, Aaron.
Oh no, I've already got my answer made up. I'm going Creature. So that's how I'm ending it.
Okay.
There you go.
Unless
See,
somebody
I was
wants to challenge
prepared. I was prepared to throw down too.
I was gonna say, if I'm throwing this flag down, what's my
Yes.
what's my premise here? What am I trying to do by throwing this flag down?
Try to convince someone to change their vote. How would you convince them to change their vote?
For the hell of it, I'm gonna throw the challenge flag down.
Okay.
And here's why. And I'm coming from a place of kind of almost a power play a little bit,
Okay.
because I don't have this point I'm about to make in my life, but the two of you have daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you sit your daughter down, and have them watch Creature of the Black Lagoon or
Mm-hmm.
Bride of Frankenstein, and have them not just watch it and not take in what's going on, but actually pull something from it. Either one. Which one do you want them to what would you want them to pull from each movie? What would you where would your heart be warmer? Would it be in
Mm-hmm.
the idea that she is now afraid of the water and doesn't want to be around lizards and shit? Or do you want her to see a strong female lead in a film, that and plus you're gonna have to explain to her. I mean, I know your kid, Aaron. I know that you're going to have to explain a lot to this child to make her understand. But
True.
let's say for grins, she's 16 and she's strong-willed and knows everything. You know jack shit,
Okay.
and you have to explain to her why the Bride is important. Which do you think, as fathers of daughters, if you had, what I mean?
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. I'm listening.
So have at thee. That's my challenge.
That's your challenge.
Yeah. Would that sway either one of you?
So I'm going to say this first and foremost. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is exactly the message I want my daughter to get. Boys are gross and nasty, and they will try to get a hold of you, and you need to run and get away fast. Thank you very much.
I was hoping James was going to say something to that effect, because I was waiting for that to happen.
No, but you also had to consider that, you're right about, she was the lead character, and that was an important role for women in film. But, you also look at Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's the modern day fairy tale. I mean, that is a unique take on Beauty and the Beast. And look how much artwork it's inspired too. I mean, not just the creature himself, but I mean, Lana Del Rey has done a photo session as the girl and with the creature, and again, Shape of Water. I mean, I go what a beautiful and brilliant film that was, and initially he wanted to remake Creature from the Black Lagoon when he made Shape of Water, but couldn't get the rights. And when he was finally able to get the rights, he's like, "Fuck y'all, I'm doing this instead." But the influence is heavy there. So Chris, I see your point. I think you got a really wonderful, valid point. And as a father to a daughter, I definitely want her to see strong female characters. But I still think Creature, just because it, you got that modern fairy tale look to it, and just the work that went into it as well. I mean, you weren't talking about a time frame where underwater cameras were really a thing, and they had to choreograph the swimming, and they had to do all of that. And so just for the work behind it, the original idea, the modern day fairy tale, and the fact that boys are icky and gross and they don't need to be touching you. That's not a monster. That's just some dude who caught a nasty STD that he wants to give to you, and it's covered his entire body.
Yeah.
Don't touch him.
Oh God.
He's got the ginge.
That's it.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
So
well,
you echo the same idea, Aaron?
So Chris, after hearing your point, here's what I feel about Creature from the Black Lagoon. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, because the creature is the victim here. You have people coming into his territory, coming into his environment to hunt him, to look for fossils. He's just trying to get away and live, swim around and do whatever he does. He's defending himself. At the same time, you've got like a young Clint Eastwood in there who's probably like in his late 20s, who's like now 90 something years old because he was in contact with the Creature from the Black Lagoon, or whatever makeup they used for that movie, because he was in it, and he's old as dirt now. He's probably older than dirt, but he was in it. But to your point of the bride, yeah, I see that, and again, as I pointed out, she's become more of like this beckoning for the OG Harley Quinn with, I don't need a man to, be relevant type thing. Even though she was made for somebody like Harley Quinn was created for the Joker, she was created for the creature, broke away, doing her own thing, and super iconic. And to a degree, this is almost a coin toss. But then I remembered Clint Eastwood is in the Creature from the Black Lagoon movie, and I can't say no to that.
I also think it's important to note that Harley Quinn chose her path.
She does.
Bride did not.
Okay,
So the winner for this section is the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
And we want to thank everybody for listening to Front Row Patriarchy.
Oh, actually, thank everybody for listening, because this for our first run, first run of this, I didn't expect for it to get as tough as it started getting toward the thing. Here's my question though: if the ending came down to Creature versus Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, would that have been tougher as a final vote?
For me, no. I mean, again, you're talking about, although Abbott and Costello are pioneering that whole horror comedy genre.
Yeah.
No. I still think Creature has more of a
Creature
cinematic standpoint. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
The monsters were in the film for Abbott and Costello, but they weren't taken seriously. I mean, it was tongue in cheek. It was satire.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if this was nothing but horror comedies, absolutely. I mean, they're going to ride that to the top. But if you're also just looking at this from the horror standpoint, I mean, at some point you got to take the serious horror movies seriously.
You definitely do.
That's going to make that 80s bracket real tough for me, man. Because I'm looking at the movies on here. There's some serious shit on here, but then there's some funny ass shit on here. So it's going to be tough for me.
One of the things I was telling Aaron earlier is that I respect a lot of the way this was done up, because particularly if you look at this 80s bracket, where most people might have said, well, we're going to do Friday the 13th. He does Friday the 13th Part 4, and I think when you consider the sequels, I mean, that's probably the most significant sequel, mine is probably part 2 because we see that it becomes Jason who becomes the killer as opposed to his mother.
Yeah.
But when you look at how significant that film is, I mean, at the end, you've got one of the Coreys, very young, kind of bringing him back into that memory. So you guys I'll say you did some interesting things putting this together.
Yeah.
There are some films I probably would have added, some I would have taken away. I probably would have loved to have seen Alien in here.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the ultimate monster movie. But you guys did a great job, and that 80s bracket is going to be killer. I'm pulling for Gremlins, Lost Boys, but that's just me.
I think for me, the toughest choice for the 80s bracket side is going to be Evil Dead 2 versus American Werewolf in London. Yeah, that's going to be tough for me.
Tough one. I'm a little heartbroken though because there's no Monster Squad on this god dang list. Sir.
You know what? There's always next year.
All right.
There's more movies and there's always next year. So
all right.
It'll happen. But James, I want to thank you for joining us tonight to dissect the first part of our brackets.
Yes, thank you very much for coming on.
I hope you had a lot of fun.
No, it was good. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I told my wife, I'm like, I'll probably be on about an hour. Like here we are 2 hours later, and she's gone to bed, which is really bad sign for me. But no, it's a lot of fun.
So if you want to plug anything right now, go ahead and plug away. Where can they find you? Where can you find Nerdfest? Go ahead and plug away, sir.
So come. You can always check out Nerdfest on Facebook. Go ahead and join our group. It's a fantastic group. I'm really the key driver, but Aaron is one of our Nerdmen team. Chris is in there as well. And it's we talk about all things pop culture related. Obviously, we'll have a big focus moving into October toward horror. Also, check out NerdCon. We're coming December 4th to Mont Bellevue at the Eagle Point Rec Center. We have cut down our number of tables this year just due to COVID precautions, although we're seeing those numbers come down. We do want to play it as safe as possible and allow for some spacing. But it's going to be a great convention. We're going to bring a lot of energy. Probably going to bring back the duck hunt, which was awesome last year. We're going to do some fun things. You can find that both on Facebook and Instagram. And then if you like toys and cool stuff, check out Nerdfest Texas, which is my toy page. So,
oh, nice.
I did a lot of plugging. Like that was an hour just for me to plug shit. So
that's fine. That's fine. And I know for us, me and Chris, next weekend, actually, when this episode goes up, this weekend, we will be at the Gulf Coast Toy Show that's happening in Pasadena. We will both be there vending, selling our toys that we need to get rid of because we need some monies. And
human monies.
And we are very nice and very evil at the same time.
Yes.
So we will be selling all of that stuff. And you can check us out there. And also, if you're listening to this, you want to hear more podcasts, go to crossthestreamsmedia.com. Check out the other podcasts that are a part of the Cross the Streams Media family. Movie Gap, but don't really listen to them because Chase sucks balls. You listen to Dan Aykroyd podcast, 3 Beers and a Mic, 3 Beers and an MTU, Beer Appetit, and then several more. Always fun. And again, James, thank you for coming on. Hope you had a lot of fun.
I did. And one more thing about it, since you guys are selling toys, I just want to put this out there in the universe. They are expecting a toy shortage this year for Christmas. So come to these toy shows, folks, because not only can you get your collector groove on, you can pick up something for little Sally and Johnny and not disappoint them from Santa Claus. So,
I mean, I didn't think about that, man, because I know all the supplies for comics and cards went up because the protective equipment was in demand, and so a lot of plastic was allocated to other things. So good point, man. True. Yeah, so definitely come out to NerdCon. You definitely want to come out to the Gulf Coast Toy Show and buy all my things, so I don't have to leave with nothing but a sack of monies. And hopefully Aaron got a big sack of monies, and we'll have sacks of monies.
I hope so too. So if you made this far and listening, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a big thumbs up. You made it.
This was a marathon, guys.
It was. And this is what we normally do. This is normally how long it goes too.
This is our format.
Yeah.
Oh, good. See, I thought I was just over talking.
No.
I thought you're gonna get off the phone and be like, this guy just love to hear his own damn voice. This guy just talked forever.
We should rename this.
No, I'm glad it's you guys and not me.
Yak Cast.
Yeah, we are. We talk all the time. So, again, thank you for coming on. And as we sign off, just remember, always unfollow, never unfriend on social media. and just have a good day if you're listening to this in the daytime. So this is Aaron.
This is Chris, and raise that flag.
God damn it! You put the damn ponchos thing in there.
You're welcome, everybody.
Until next time.
Some people kill for it. I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it. Here we go. Give it 100, never left the list. Here we go. We coming, you already know the rest. Here we go. We never settle cause we know it best. Here we go. Who want a 10? Leave you out of. Here we go. Give it 100, never left the list. Here we go. We coming, you already know the rest. Here we go. We never settle cause we know it best. Here we go. Who want a 10? Leave you out of.
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.